This is the UnFollowVic podcast.
For as far back as they can remember, the UnFollowVic boys wanted to host a podcast. So in the spring of 2020, pandemics, riots, and botched gender reveals be damned, they did just that. If I'm being honest, season 1 wasn't half bad. The boys made sure you wiped your asses the right way.
I could never imagine wiping towards the balls.
And hook it out, man. And make sure that colon's clean.
Gave yous a look in the hog calling contests. Quality controlled sex doll so you didn't have to. Not too shabby for a couple of stunads from Queens just trying to make a name for themselves. And from what I'm hearing about season 2, they've really taken it to the next level. This time around, the boys welcome a funny lady with 36 alibis, an old school Coney Island strongman with a knack for sword swallowing, and a guy responsible for shaping the better part of your childhood. Yous ungrateful bastards, just to name a few. But who the hell are these guys, yous might be asking? Well, for starters, there's Jack.
Palm trees and sunshine, my friend.
He's what your mother would call a good boy. Guy's built like a hockey puck with the attention span of a toddler. He pumps funny like he's got it on tap. A good right-hand man that's down for anything. Then there's Victor.
What's up? Hanging in there.
The strong but silent type. A real still waters run deep kind of guy. He could download Netflix onto a calculator, but he's not exactly a master conversationalist, if you know what I mean. The producer, Vinny, is a fucking legend. They say his resume would clear a small forest if he ever tried to print the damn thing. When he's not busy ghostbusting or starting a new career, he's making sure the boys stay running like a Showroom 69 Super Sport Chevelle. Then there's the big man behind the wheel, El Capitan, Vic.
You're
The son of immigrants. He learned young that he would have to work his ass off to have half the chance of making it in this cruel world. A natural-born hustler, he always dreamt of entertaining the masses, and this is his shot. His grandfather once told him, the higher you climb the mountain, the harder you fall. But if you never tried, you never got to see the view if you made it. So that's the crew, and this is the show. Down to earth, insightful, and slightly twisted. For them, to do it any other way would be nuts. So don't be a Karen, and do the right thing. Like, share, and goddammit, you better subscribe to season 2 of the UnFollowVic podcast if you know what's good for yous.
Oh my god. It's like waking up listening to that song.
Yeah, you wake up listening to this song?
But no, it's like I'm waking up.
Oh. Season 2, episode 1.
Bro.
We're back.
It's been a while.
We took a 3-month vacation, right? Something like that?
Unheard of. Unprecedented.
Well, we did a lot of things in those 3 months.
We've been through some shit, my friends.
Yeah. We've sent mass emails out. We hitched the producer, Vinny Carbone, who was on the show. Vinny.
There he is. Welcome, welcome.
Vinny doesn't talk.
Am I supposed to talk right now?
Sure.
Please do, sir.
bada bing.
He's like, am I supposed to talk? Yeah, talk. Don't worry about it. I got a gun to your head or
Vinny
something?
Carbone. Couldn't have a show without him.
Yeah.
No, but Jack, how we doing?
Hey, man. Palm trees and sunshine, my friend.
Palm trees and
They're still
sunshine.
here.
I can't
They're
wait to
still
make.
here.
I can't wait to make a shirt for the merch. Palm trees and sunshine, with just a
Dude.
beard, a bald head and a beard.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I think that's gonna be our number one seller once we get that in there.
Yeah, but you got to. How can you fit that on a fidget spinner?
We'll get Jack's head on a fidget spinner. That's no problem. Ben, how you been, man?
Good, brother. Good.
Doing good, brother.
I'm alive.
You're alive.
Every day above ground is a plus.
There you go. Well, yeah. So for those of you that don't know, I kind of just voluntarily told Vin he's going to be the producer, and we're here now. So he's been helping us out with season 2, and we're doing a whole new direction. But we'll get into that later. Let's start up with the show. Where did we leave off?
So the last episode was a roundup of the previous season, and the season before the episode before that, I really don't remember, dude. It was so long ago. It's like I'm a totally
Well, I
different
remember
person.
because I asked the question.
Oh,
but yeah, no. We wrapped up the episode, but with Vinny, we left off that he was going to take us on a ghost hunt.
Yeah.
And we went to.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we went to the mansion. Private event. I think there was like 6 or 7 of us.
Am I supposed to drink this?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. You want to get into that?
Yeah,
I want to get you
That's called
wired.
Go juice.
Yeah. All right. So, Vinny has never drank espresso.
I don't drink coffee.
He don't drink coffee. He doesn't drink alcohol, and you don't smoke, to my knowledge.
Never smoke. Never touch drugs.
You like so when Officer Dan came to your school to talk about Dan,
I had to give him a lecture.
you had to give him the lecture. Bada bing. So I actually made Vinny an espresso, and I was gonna give him a single, but you know me, I think I had to put the double in there.
I think when I was in Spain, I felt compelled. Now I think about it, when I was in Spain, I felt compelled to drink something caffeinated, and I don't know if it was an espresso or was something. I don't know. Anyway, that was.
Anyways,
100
cheers. So the first, I mean, you're probably gonna be like a Wolverine on angel dust any minute, but
Oh my god.
Now, do you sip this or?
yeah, sip it, relax, chill. There you
Sip
go.
it or just take it
God,
as a shot.
You don't like it?
it tastes like
This is not involved with your
Like a-
Italian heritage.
a hot penny, like
a hot
I'm sucking
penny?
on a hot penny.
Yeah, I like that too.
All right, so what were we talking about?
So all right, so we end up.
So taking your stonades to
Hey. So we're talking about you were gonna bring us on a ghost hunt, and we did go on the ghost hunt.
Yes. You did.
The only thing is I was gonna have an episode right after that, but we had to go through all the footaging.
Yeah.
I had to go through my footages, your footages, the camera girl. We had a lot to shit, and it was by the time we got it all said and done, there was no way it was gonna be ready for episode on the season 1.
Yeah.
So now we're here, and
So you guys came in, and it was a small group. How many people were there?
well, there was Victor, my girl, her brother. I had another couple, Joe and Joanne, which are actually on their honeymoon.
Mm-hmm. God bless.
They're in Hawaii right now. Good luck. Go see them fucking dolphins. And that's it, right? Or I feel like there was one more.
Well, there was Megan, the
Well, yeah.
the museum employee. I think that was it.
Yeah, that was it. So we went on a ghost hunt. And where was it at? It was at the Morris Jumel
It's
Mansion,
at the Morris Jumel Mansion,
located in Washington Heights, for
Washington
anybody that
Heights,
wants to go, New York.
Uptown Manhattan. That's where, that's where I worked as the events director there. But more importantly, I was the resident paranormal investigator there, and still am. And once we talked about it on the show, you guys wanted to come and do an investigation, so I brought you in, and I think it was a really cool night. So I gave you guys the rundown, like I did my usual spiel. I gave you guys the history of ghost hunting and the science behind the equipment that we were using, and the psychology behind it, and which for me is a big part of investigating. And I really enjoy doing private investigations. It's it's a little more relaxed and laid back, and
Exactly. And I would think the group is more or less either you're getting 6 people that don't even want to be there, or you're getting 6 people that actually want to be there most of the time.
That's the weird thing about this. Like, whether it's public, so on the public investigations, I can look around the room and I can tell who bought the tickets and then who's the boyfriend or friend or girlfriend, whatever, they got dragged there. with the private investigations, you would think it was all people that really want to be there, and sometimes it's
like they're involved.
But a lot of times, unfortunately, what it is you could see it was someone's birthday, and then other people like kind of like jokingly were like, yeah, okay, I guess I'll, and they're kind of like super disrespectful to them kind of thing, like, they kind of feel a little self-conscious by the end of the night, so but that was not the case with your group.
No, the people I brought, we were willing, and I wish Jack was there, but Jack's in Cali, so that doesn't help.
Hey, man.
Plenty of ghosts over there.
I'm just saying, let the show get some funding, and I'll take the flights over.
Right. Yeah. I'll follow Vic.
For real.
Could you?
Yeah, man.
So, but yeah, no, you guys, and we had some pretty cool activity too.
We did have a lot. So let's just touch. Let's touch this espresso, huh? Let's touch base on. So we have the EMFs, which read electric magnetic field EMF.
Yes,
there you go.
yeah.
Good. See,
You could get that.
you have the run pod, which I like the run pod. So
Yeah, that detects static electric. That's the thing. Everything that I use is pretty straightforward. Like, it's not like you have to believe. You don't have to suspend disbelief in order to get to believe that the thing that you're using, the piece of equipment that you're using, is actually detecting some kind of paranormal activity. I always preface, if this device lights up or activates in any way, I'm not saying that that's a ghost, but I'm saying that there's suddenly a spike in EMF, or suddenly some kind of concentration of static electricity, or something is making this device
because it's not going off.
Yeah.
Then you start going through the history.
Exactly.
And then it's like, boom, it starts going off.
Whenever we do the intro for our guests at the museum, right around the time we get to talking about either George Washington or Eliza Jumel, who is the longest resident of the house, that's when we see activity. And that's always been very interesting. And that's about the 5-minute mark into the intro. So, but yeah.
Yeah. So when we went, we started off in the first room, and that was like the parlor room, you said? What was that room? As soon as you walk through the door to the left.
Yeah, I mean, that's the front parlor. So
that's the front parlor.
That's the room where Eliza Jumel married her
EMF out the ass.
Yeah, and it spiked.
Spikes.
It goes right to right. But that's the room where Eliza Jumel married her second husband, Aaron Burr, the former vice president, who also killed Hamilton. So, in a duel.
A lot of history now.
In a duel.
Yeah. But he married her in that room. And so what's really interesting about not just that room, but the entire house, is that all of the furniture in there is original, which means that either belonged to them and has made its way back to the house by way of auctions or donations, or furniture that didn't belong to them, but is of the time period. So it's all, residual energy.
Authentic.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that room is always, and I don't know if I told you guys this story, but I had a really, really interesting experience in that room a couple of years back with a private group where I'll tell you, Jack, and the guests.
Yeah, please.
But so the front parlor of the Morris Jumel mansion, a couple of years back, I was doing an investigation with this private group from New Jersey, and they had a couple of devices that I don't have. They had a REM pod inside of a cat, like a stuffed cat, and this is actually like a common thing. Like there's
a hidden prop type thing.
Yeah, well, there's another one.
Nanny cam.
Yeah, it's basically that. They have another one called a Boo Bear, which is like a REM pod inside of like a teddy bear, and like you would use this in like a children's hospital, whatever. And the idea is that a kid's gonna go and touch that or whatever.
Wow! I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so they had this cat. It was a REM pod, like stuffed cat. Where
did the antenna come out of? The ears?
Yes.
I actually don't know. But I remember it was white, and they placed it on this chair by the door, the entranceway into the room. And then on the mantle, they had this thing called an Ovulus, which is a digital word bank. It's got like 1,000 words or something like that in it. And the idea is that, now this sounds far-fetched for me, right? This is where you lose me a little bit. But the idea is that the spirits are meant to manipulate this thing and spit out relevant words to that location. So that's a little...
like a Ouija board?
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, basically it's a digital Ouija board. But anyway, they had this thing on the mantle, and I was holding what's called a FLIR, which is a thermal imaging camera. So basically, if you ever saw the movie Predator, it's like how the Predator, or like how it's like a reptilian animals, sees or whatever. So the idea with that is that you're going to see a signature, a heat signature or a cool signature different than everyone else in the room if there's a spirit there, whatever the case may be. And there have been cases where you'll see like a handprint on the wall or something residual like that where someone hadn't touched. It's pretty cool.
That's weird.
Fire departments use this to look for people,
bodies,
or like hot spots in rooms or whatever. But in any case, so these are 3 different things that we're using at the same time on this investigation. And on the ovulus on the mantle, it spit out the word children, then it said hide, and then it said the name Gail, and then it said some boy's name. I don't remember. And I said, oh, the kids want to play hide and seek. And as soon as I said that, the REM pod cat went off. So I said, oh, okay, it does. So there was a girl standing by the door. She goes, okay, I'm going to count to 10. I'm going to come look for you. She gets, she starts counting. She gets a 7, 8, 9. Right as she's about to say 10, the cat goes off. So that was interesting. I had the camera, the thermal imaging camera. I walk across the room from the front parlor, across the hallway to the dining room.
The dining room. Yeah. Yep, I remember.
I take one step into the dining room, and I was looking at the LCD screen of the camera. I wasn't looking up. When I took a step into the room, all of a sudden I heard a REM pod go off, and I looked, and there was a REM pod sitting on the table in the dining room. I didn't see it when I first walked in because I was looking down, but it was, to me, it was as if
they were hiding.
I found them. Kind of thing. So that was a super interesting case where something literally traveled from one side of the house to the other.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
That might be a medical condition.
Not according to my uncle.
Jack, we got to keep it PG. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, do we really?
Nah.
Come on.
All right. Yeah. So, yeah, we started off in the parlor. Then from there, I think we immediately went upstairs, correct? You had Eliza's bed.
Did we not go into the dining room?
Yeah, no, we went into the dining room actually, which I loved that clock.
The grandfather clock. Yeah,
the grandfather clock. And there was something weird. I remember, was it like if you looked inside the mirror, you were telling me a story.
So
it winks.
So it's a grandfather clock that Eliza Jumel owned, and in my time being at the museum, I've seen it move a few times. Like, not, we've moved it from room to room. Not it moved on its own. That'd be fucking crazy. Yeah. But the old urban legend is that there's like a moon in the top part of the clock, and supposedly it winks at handsome men. It
didn't wink. Yeah.
So I've been shut down by a clock too. So.
So I'm guessing all the handsome men that it does wink to are just narcissists. And
probably.
They're like, that thing winked at me.
Totally.
Twice.
Yeah. But
twice.
Yo, your clock.
The furniture.
On me, bro.
The furniture was amazing. Like,
I
know,
beautiful furniture,
beautiful. I mean, and you actually feel like you're back at that time set during the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, yeah. So the furniture. There was a guy, his name was Duncan Fife, and he was like the rock star furniture maker here in New York because, furniture is a big thing overseas and stuff like that. So as far as American furniture makers, he was the guy to go to. And Eliza was a woman of means, and so she wanted to furnish her home with his stuff. And, very fortunately, we still have it. And it's been worked on over the years. I've been, like the fabric's been redone, whatever, because that stuff breaks down. But it's it's as authentic as you can get.
Yeah. No, it's great. And then I just remember going upstairs, and then we went into the bedrooms, and that's where it starts getting...
Yeah, it's a totally different vibe on this.
Yeah.
Like, because the first floor, that's where guests of the house would have been. Primarily, whether it be for a dinner party or business or whatever the case. Once you get to the second floor, guests weren't really going up there. You had to be a very close friend or family member, whatever, to go up to these spaces. So it definitely has a more intimate and different vibe. And the second floor is by far the most active floor in the house. Like, I've had things there. A former employee, Chris, he's had disembodied voices up there. I mean, crazy, crazy stuff. I mean, the list goes on and on, but yeah. I mean, one night he was closing up and he was in the house completely by himself. The gate was locked, everything. And he's about to go downstairs and he hears a man right behind him say, hello. And he turned around because he thought someone...
Is it me you're looking for?
Yeah, it was. That'd be crazy. Lionel Richie was in the house.
Hey!
Ghost of Lionel Richie. The ghost of his perm.
How's that espresso doing over there?
I
You
gotta tell you,
alright?
I'm not loving it, but I'm gonna get through
Keep shooting it. Yeah. Give it about 20 minutes. Kid's head's gonna fucking explode.
it.
Yeah,
Holy
I can go for a real one. I'm not gonna lie. I can
Nice.
go for a real one right now.
Yeah, well, you had 20 minutes to do that, so
No, those are decaf.
I gotta get you a seatbelt on that fucking chair you got over there.
Why is that bothering you?
No, it's not bothering me.
No.
Yeah, and then so what was the thing with Eliza's room versus his room, where like if the men were in Eliza's room, there was activity or there wasn't? Because
What's so funny?
I'm gonna guess it was activity, and I'm gonna guess it was the headboard.
oh, this kid's head.
Bada bing!
How dare you?
When the guys were in her bedroom.
No. Look, come on, no. Let's get serious.
Have some respect, all right?
Yeah, have some respect for the dead, all right?
Sorry.
No, what I meant was that typically couples who lived in that time slept in separate rooms.
They did.
Because when I went to mansions in Rhode Island, when I went on a trip, we did the mansion tour, and they all had separate rooms.
Yeah, that was the thing. So the mansion was no exception.
We need to
that.
bring that back.
Yeah. I think people are doing that. They're just not talking about it.
Yeah. Jack actually lives in a separate room.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying
My
to think.
cave.
I think the Brady Bunch might have been the first show to actually show a married couple in the same bed.
Really?
On TV, yeah.
Good to know.
Was it the Brady Bunch?
I think it might have been before that because like
I was married with children.
Married with Children, I think was the first show to have a toilet on the show on TV.
I don't believe that. Yeah?
The bathroom, yeah.
All right.
Whatever. Anyway.
Anyways, yeah, so
The
they're
point
living
is-
in separate rooms.
So Jack's like, what are we talking about?
No.
So what I was going to say is, yeah, so it typically, when I first started investigating at the mansion, I saw a spike in activity when it was primarily females in the room. And then when the men would come in there, it was kind of like she would shut up.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got to start to think about who you're investigating. You know, you're talking about, again, a woman of means from that time period. It would not be appropriate for unknown men to be in her room. And so that's why during investigations, we typically will split the group and have the women go into Eliza's room first, and then the men will go into Aaron Burr's room with me. But we moved the furniture out of her room. Her room is totally empty right now. A couple of years ago, because again, it's all.
I think it was empty when I got there too.
It was all taken out a couple of years ago for restoration, and it, you know, because of COVID and everything.
Yeah, COVID
kinda-
delayed everything.
Yeah, so but it should be coming back hopefully in the next 6 months or to a year. But what was I going to say? But the activity has kind of died down in her room.
Really?
We've seen in the last.
Is
years.
it because maybe objects and like beds and all that of like
because the bed that was in her room?
yeah,
is
'cause
the
she would want to sleep on something if she, you know, was going to bed. then,
Yeah, the
right?
dead get tired. No, what I was going to say is the bed that the bed that is usually in her room is actually the bed she died in.
There you go.
Yeah,
so that's
so-
a piece of
But here's what's interesting about that is that we actually took the furniture out of her room on a Thursday. This was like 3 years ago now. That Saturday we had a public investigation, and it was on that investigation that we had all these women were sitting on the floor in Eliza's room, and they kept hearing like someone like stomping around above them in the attic. Well, what was our offices. And one person said it sounded like boots, and then another girl said it sounded like someone just dropped a bag of tools. It got so loud and so consistent that I grabbed the other staff member, Chris, and 2 male staff members, and I said, let's go up there because I want to prove that no one's up there.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to see if someone was hiding up there. And of course, there was no one in there. So, and the part where they were hearing it, you can't even get to. The way the roof is.
well, I remember being in that room. We heard some type of steps, but it sounded more like a kid.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a common thing. That's a
This
very
is
common
this is the part in the movie where they say stole pipes before the freaking demons start coming out and killing everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's never gotten that crazy yet. But.
No, I know. Is there anything crazy like that though? I mean, in your travels, have you run into any aggravated phantasms?
That's more of a Hollywood thing. I mean, you always hear the cases of people getting scratched or possessed or whatever. I've never had that happen, so I can't say. I mean, I think aggressive behavior, I don't think I've really ever encountered that, to be honest.
No.
You know, and that's one of the misconceptions of paranormal investigating is that, or ghosts, is that people, there's a lot of misconceptions around this thing. And one of them is that ghost hunters have all the answers. We don't. That's just in the movies, you know.
Right.
But the other thing is that, you know, if a spirit's hanging around, it's because they have a score to settle or something like that. And that's not the case. I think that if there is such a thing as ghosts, it's because they're either confused, they're lost, they do have unfinished business, whatever, you know. The best example I can give you is watch the movie The Others. I'm not going to give anything away. It's one of my all-time favorite movies, but it just
Others.
Yeah, it sums up my theory of the paranormal kind of perfectly. So check it out. It's a great movie. But no, I can't really say that I personally have ever experienced or heard of anything aggressive. So
Yeah.
Okay. Nicole Kidman's in it, so this will work for my spank bank.
yeah, she is the largest.
Yeah. What was that thing in his room where you did that time? You had a private group. They went in there and they started to sing or something, and it sounded like a parrot with the what's it called? The voice EVP.
An EVP, electronic voice phenomena. So that was a video clip that we captured in Aaron Burr's room during a private investigation. And a week after the investigation, the team lead sent us this clip, and she goes, "Hey, we got something in Burr's room out. We still don't know what this is." So, you know, we all
And it's loud. It's
loud,
it's clear.
yeah.
Well, not it's clear to the point where you can hear that there's something there.
You want me to play it?
Yeah, play it. Well, we can actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it up. So basically, that night we were trying something called the Singapore effect. And it's basically when you recreate some kind of sound or an action or some kind of activity that a spirit might recognize from their lifetime. So the easiest thing to use or to try to replicate is music.
Let's go ahead and plug that into your phone.
Oh, okay.
Let me know when you're ready, and we'll get it on here.
Sure.
So the Singapore effect.
So it's called Singapore effect. But basically, so the thing that I like to use is music. You know, like when I investigated at Waverly Hills Sanatorium, where like over 80,000 people died of tuberculosis, I would play either like big band music because the place was built like in 1928 or something like that. So I would play like big band music. I would also play like the medical PSAs about the advancements of tuberculosis treatment, stuff like that, just to see if it solicits some kind of activity. So this particular night, we were doing this investigation. One of the people on the team was Gotham Paranormal, which is a Metro New York-based Taps family group that I was a part of for a while.
Yeah, just give me a thumbs up when you're ready.
Yeah. But anyway, so one of the people on the team, they study music. And so he brought his guitar, and that night he was playing everything from, Italian opera to things from Hamilton, everything in between.
A little bit of WAP.
That chair has some,
so the chair, so it's a video clip, which, you know, the people listening are not going to see, but, the chair he was sitting in, the chair that's in that room still, it's a striped chair. And that's a chair that, Lin-Manuel Miranda sat in to write
the Hamlet.
Write some of Burr's music for his, you know, what would become his smash hit, Hamilton. So I'm going to play the clip. Again, this was halfway through the night. We had already investigated the first floor. We're now on the second floor. We're in Aaron Burr's room. And the video, you see me walking around. You're going to hear some people talking, and it's at the 3-second mark. You're going to hear something.
Before you play the clip, let me just remind Jack to shut up because sometimes he likes to talk.
Yeah, and all right. So you're going to hear something at the 3-second mark that's distinctly different from our voices.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm just here's the EVP from Aaron Burr's room. Did you hear it?
Yeah. Now, before we get into it, play it again for Jack because he's got to hear it. You hear that, Jack?
Yeah,
now, what
that's
would you
freaky.
think that would sound? Sounds like a cat. All right, so he's not actually far off.
Yeah.
Because when he first played it, when we were there, I'm like, what? Does he like you? Does he this? Does he that? And then Vinny was bringing to my attention that, back in the day when you had animals, very wealthy people had exotic animals. So it could have been a parrot.
Yeah, because in the women's bathroom, believe it or not, we actually captured an EVP once of we had a psychic medium come in from California, and she's like, yeah, something's saying to go to the back corner of the house, and we're like, well, that's actually the women's room. What do you know? She goes, well,
Yeah, what are you trying to do over here?
Yeah.
How dare you?
So we
I don't know how to hog that people.
anyway, so we go in there. We did an EVP session in the women's bathroom, and we captured what sounded like a monkey screaming.
Mm-hmm.
It was really weird. And then I was starting to put it all together. I'm like, that sounds like a monkey, because having gone to school for broadcasting and editing film and stuff like that, you get used to different sound effects and stuff. And I was like, that sounds like a small like spider monkey or something like that. And then And then I was putting it together with the sound from upstairs from Aaron Burr's room, and I always thought that sounded like a bird. I was like, well, you know what? It's not that far. They had soldiers from all over the world staying there. It was a tavern. It was.
I would love to. Is there any pictures when it was a tavern?
No, I mean, there's.
I would have loved to seen that style.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't become a tavern until
they took over, right?
No, it was a tavern after the Morrises, which was the first family, and then after the Revolutionary War, but before the Jumels moved in, which was 1810s.
Yeah.
So no photos. There's only one known photo of Alonzo Jumel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's that.
And then while we actually went to the third floor, which is the offices, and that's where we saw. Well, we
went into George Washington's room, right?
Yeah, you went to Washington's bedroom. We did the whole second floor. Yeah. But it was on the third floor. So, interesting side note, that's where the original floorboards are. Those really wide planks. So, like you had all these Revolutionary War soldiers walking on the same floors. But what I was going to say is that, remember we were on the third floor and then we heard like the door downstairs jiggling?
Yes. That's when you and Megan ran down.
Yeah.
And now I heard something completely different. You guys heard a door.
Yeah.
I heard more like a huff, because you were telling me something that back in the day, a lot of soldiers rode on horses. So when I heard something, it sounded like like if a horse was like, "Get off me, guy, I'm tired." Like, come on, man, you've been riding me all night long. Like
that's what she said.
But so it sounded like a heavy breathe. Like it sounded like either a person was just exhausted, or maybe the horse was just doing that little panthering that he does. Oof. You guys heard door.
It's because we've heard.
You guys ran down there
because we got to protect the house, but yeah, we've heard that.
What about
before.
the customers? You got to protect the customers. No?
You guys are secondary.
Yeah, you guys signed a waiver. Fuck you.
Yeah, because we went during the COVID, and I mean, I get it. COVID, is whatever, but like we weren't, you're not allowed to touch, sit. Well, I don't think you were allowed to do that prior to that, but at least you were a little more free with your hands.
Yeah, it was.
But anyway, so you guys ran down.
Yeah, we ran down. We went through.
Yeah, you checked the door, everything, nothing. But
that happens a lot.
The REM pod did go off, I believe.
Yeah, REM pod went off a few times. Yeah.
And we left that downstairs because that's where we kept getting hits.
Did the light sensor go off in the basement?
Yes, we're gonna bring. Yeah, that's our next thing. So So after all that, we ended up going into the basement, which right then and there already brought chills because it's like a dark room.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering, there was some mason, there was a lot of stones on the wall, the fire pit.
Yeah, the floor is brick, yeah.
Then there was a table, which I know you have a story with a little kid there, right? Remember the kid, the whole table shift or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
That's great. You got to bring that up.
Yeah. So I always end investigations in the basement. And the idea behind that is that when I would work there or just in general, whenever we go to the basement, sometimes there, like at the end of the night, we'd go to leave and you'd hear like a chair move or you hear some kind of like chattering or whatever above you. And it's kind of I kind of associate it with like Toy Story. When Andy leaves the room, the toys come to life kind of thing. It's like, okay, they've gone, they're gone now. The coast is clear. We can come out now.
Kind of annoying that it works out that way though. I mean, if you're somebody that wants to be there, you know what I mean? It's like it's always happening when you walk out. Like,
I had an investigation like 5 years ago. And it was the night before Valentine's Day. And I remember it was freezing. But we ended the investigation in the basement and it was a big group. And I remember we heard furniture moving right above us in the dining room. We heard people like full on talking, like so loud, like people were like gasping.
Was there like a party there at that date at a different year, maybe?
I don't know, but it was so loud that like at least 2 people captured it on their phone audio and sent it to me, and it was crazy, man.
Yeah.
But
bring up that kid, that little kid, man.
So
he was a little shit too, right? The whole night.
Well, so he wasn't little. He was like a teenager.
Oh,
okay,
he was.
So when people ask me what's the craziest thing that I've ever seen on an investigation, whatever, the craziest thing I've ever seen was when I was in college and that faucet turned on by itself. That was. I wasn't.
Is that
looking.
when you did your first?
No, that's when that's what kind of got me into all this.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that later. But on an actual investigation now where I'm actively seeking some kind of response.
Activity, yeah.
Now the jury is still out as to whether or not this is legit. But on an investigation at the mansion, we ended in the basement. We had a 6-foot table in the middle of the room, and then on all 3 sides of the table we had these like long benches that the guests would sit on, and I would set the equipment up on the table. And on this one investigation, sitting in the one corner of the table was a mom, a dad, and then like their teenage son. And then sitting right next to them was an older couple, a husband and a wife. And I remember I was standing toward the front of the room, and there was 2 other staff members. And all of a sudden, the table just jumped about like 2 feet toward the fireplace. And it scared the hell out of everybody. We all screamed and everything. And after the initial shock, I was like, okay, you know, how'd that happen? Who did it? Because I thought someone accidentally kicked it, like when they were moving their feet or something like that. But no one owned up to it.
Was it like an original table?
No. It was like a plastic and metal 6-foot table, yeah. So.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking it's one of those colonial giant wooden pieces that needed like 4 guys to move.
No. You know, I mean, it's a pretty hefty table.
4 guys and 2 women.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it jumped by itself. And so when no one owned up to it, I'm like, all right, you know, this kid kicked it either by accident and he's embarrassed, or he did it on purpose and he's not going to own up to it. Yeah. Now, I've told that story on other investigations. The interesting thing is that the couple that was sitting right next to the kid, they've come back they've revisited, you know, they've come on other investigations. And when I tell the story, the wife, she goes, it wasn't him. It wasn't the boy, because he had on really shiny shoes.
And she would have seen that.
And she goes, and I was looking at his feet in the dark because they were like
glistening.
Glistening. And right as I was looking at his feet, the table jumped. And she goes, at no point did his feet touch the table. And the way that where he was sitting and the way that the angle that the table moved, it would have had to have come from that direction.
You didn't interview that kid?
I asked him, and no one owned up to it.
I like turtles.
Or it was that kid. Yeah. So that happened in the. I mean, I've had a lot of stuff in the basement. I had a lot. I was in the gift shop this.
Well, you asked that question. I mean, I don't want to ruin it for anyone that's visiting. So if you ever go visit Vinny and go on a private investigation, he does ask you a question, and it's bizarre. You know, like, where does the activity mostly happen? And we got to hit both of those parts.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll keep that. Yeah, and that's.
Well, I mean, fuck it. I always ask, because it's in the basement that I talk about the psychology, because I like to do it at the end of the night. It's kind of like a magician.
Yeah, you leave me going home and I can't fucking sleep then.
Well, it's kind of like the magician does a trick and then he explains how he did it. And not that anything I'm
magician
doing is
never
fake.
Reveals their tricks, my friend. So I don't know where you're going with this.
Oh, that's true. But you know, because at the end of the night, I believe that any person who's willing to take a stance or go public with an idea or whatever, such as I am with this idea of the paranormal, you got to be willing to take on the doubters and the skeptics and everything like that. You can't surround yourself by yes men and just live in a bubble. So I like to impart to people some psychology or some just like debunking techniques, so that when they leave at the end of the night, they have both sides of the story. So that's why in the basement I talk about, how there's an association between basements and attics and them being haunted and scary. And I'm like, okay, but why? Why is that the case?
Why?
Yeah, why is that the case?
Well, let me ask you, Jack. So why is a basement or an attic scary?
Well, to me, I won't go in my attic, any attic, crawl space, none of those. I refuse 100% to go into those areas. I think it's because it's a more closed area. It's a little claustrophobic. And in case you want to leave, there's only one way in and one way out.
Okay. So, I mean, there's really no wrong answer, but typically, what I do is my little trick is I have written down on a piece of paper, basement and attic. And when I ask the group, what's the scariest parts of a house, they always say basement and attic. And then I show them a piece of paper. I'm like, now, how did I know you were going to say that? Exactly. And so then they're like, oh yeah. And then I say, okay, but why? And then we go into the why. And so what I always say is that, if you break it down, when you were a kid, you weren't hanging out in your basement or your attic.
No, really.
And it's one of the things that
unless you live in an Italian home.
Yeah.
Everything's in the basement. Nothing's on the first floor. Yeah. The first floor is literally it's like a museum.
Yeah, if there's ghosts, it'll be at the front door.
Yeah, you just walk through the first. You walk through the first floor. They get.
Oh, this is nice. Okay, yeah, come into the basement now. Don't sit, please.
My grandparents had sheets, not plastic. They had sheets.
Oh, they had sheets.
They had like white sheets. They thought that was classic.
Yeah, when I lived in Whitestone, poor me. The whole first, I don't even remember the first floor.
It was just Teflon.
It was literally a kitchen, a beautiful dining set, and we did not use that at all. We did everything in the basement.
Yeah.
And that was it. The only time we passed through the first floor was to get to our bedrooms. It's like if we had fucking ghosts renting the apartment upstairs.
You had to hold your breath as you walked.
Yeah, I had to hold my breath.
Don't breathe.
So we had activity there. I think I brought it up.
Kid.
Yeah, the fucking little kid, man. And it turns out, and I know I brought this up because I get deja vu, but like I said, we had activity there. Long story short, I was getting my shoes. I see the kid at the bar that was at the basement, and I thought it was a reflection. So like I'm like doing this with my hands to see if that was my reflection, and nothing happened. And then as soon as I stopped, he repeated what I said. And what's that? That's called an intelligent, right?
It's an intelligent haunting.
It's an intelligent haunting. And then there was another separate time where me and my brother were in the room. We had bunk beds together, and door popped open. Kid put his head there and closed the door. Yeah. And that was it. After that day, I really haven't really seen much unless I was with you with the ghost hunting. But I don't think I've ever seen anything with the ghost hunting. I've either felt something since that day or the equipment went off.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's the kind of thing where, if I was to start the night and take like separate people aside and say, I want you to be on the lookout for anything that's blue, or I want you to look out for anything that's green. At the end of the night, they'd be like, oh my God, I saw so many things. But that's because it was in their head to look for that thing, right? Whereas someone who's looking for green, they're not going to really notice it. So people who are actively looking for ghosts, everything is going to be a ghost to them. Mm-hmm. Conversely, if I don't believe in ghosts, it's not even going to be on my radar. You know what I mean? So, but to go back to what we're talking about with the psychology, so basements and attics is because when we were kids, we're not hanging out in these locations. That's somewhere where our parents, our moms and dads disappeared to for a couple of minutes to do the laundry, put something away in the attic, whatever the case is, and then they come back. And again, human beings have this defense mechanism built into us, I guess for survival, that to be hesitant or to be afraid of things that we're unfamiliar with. So whether we realize it or not, we hold on to things from our childhood, and good or bad, and fear of the unknown is one of those. Fear of the dark, fear whatever. And then to take it back to even further, when we're living in caves and jungles, I'm afraid of the dark because I can't see what's in that cave, an animal that might be coming out to get me. Also human beings have a deep-seated fear of things above and below us, right? So an attic and a basement. Above us because of, predatory animals hanging out in treetops that might jump down to get us, or things below us, we're going through the water, there might be a croc or whatever, or walking through the brush, and there's, something that could grab us. So we like everything right around here. Now, the other thing from a more scientific standpoint, again, we use EMF detectors, we use REM pods that detect static electricity. So these are all things that detect, electricity and stuff like that. If you're in a basement or an attic, what do we typically find in these spaces? Wi-Fi systems, heating ducts, all kinds of wires, everything that's tucked away from sight. Those things can affect you. If you're in a confined space, it can make you feel nauseous, dizzy, paranoid, feel like someone's watching you.
See, I don't have a problem with any of that. I don't know why.
Some people are scared of heights.
Like, I would love to have a studio in an attic one day.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so what I'm trying to say is that the same thing that So the same thing that we're measuring with these detectors, right? We're going to see in these locations. So EMF can affect you, especially in a confined space. And it's like alcohol. It affects some people. Take one beer and you're done, or you could crush a whole 12 pack.
Like a 10-second challenge.
Exactly what you did. But before the show. But what I'm saying is that in these confined spaces, we find something called a fear cage effect or fear cage syndrome. And it's where you feel like someone's watching, whatever. And that's nothing to do with the paranormal. It's, it's all just science. Now, the other thing of it too, is that sound is a big thing. Somewhere between, I think it's like 16 to 18 hertz, there is a sound that if you hear it, it makes you feel uneasy. Right. So subconsciously, you get paranoid. It also happens to be the same sound that they use in scary movies and haunted houses for a reason. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of science going on behind the scenes that people don't even stop to think about.
Very clever. Very, very clever.
Good input, Jack.
So that's why they have me here. That's why I get paid the big bucks.
Yeah.
So
we get paid in fucking Hangul money.
Like ribs.
So I would like to bring up some questions here.
Please do.
That we've been holding on to. It's kind of a reintroduction. It's got some basic questions, right?
Okay.
So on your haunted house experiences, we're gonna go through your resume here.
Okay.
Who got you into it?
I was always into it. The famous story is that when I was 3 years old, my mom threw my dad out of the house and said, "Vic, don't come home until you find this
not
proton
me.
pack." Yeah, not him. He's not my dad. But
We kind of look alike, don't we?
that'd be a plot twist, huh? That's season 3. The DNA test.
Separated at birth.
Maybe we're brothers. Oh.
Yeah.
No, what I had seen on TV the commercial for the Ghostbusters proton pack, and I was crying about and crying. So my mom threw my dad. She said, "Do not come home until you find that goddamn proton pack." And he came home, and he had it, and I was obsessed. But I like my favorite movies with Ghostbusters, Harry and the Hendersons, stuff like all that. And then as a kid, I was terrified of ghosts. The idea of ghosts or aliens, I thought I was going to get abducted or what, I mean, like one of my biggest fears for a long time was seeing a ghost, And I remember being a little kid and thinking, oh man, I could never be a ghost hunter. Like that'd be insane. Now that's what I do, but, I was always fascinated with it. No one really got me into it. People, I wouldn't say no one discouraged me from doing it. And then when I was in college, I had an experience that took it from...
you could do anything in college, so...
Yeah.
If you were going to bring something out, it would be during that time. But you told me this all started because you had an experience in college.
Yes, I did.
And I don't think we touched base on that when we had you on episode...
Same experience. Unless we're talking about a different experience.
On episode 18. We didn't discuss that.
Well, whether we did or we didn't, I'll tell you.
No, we didn't. I'm telling you.
Oh, okay.
But... No, I got great memory. I'm telling you, we didn't get to hit that part. So now we have him here, and we're gonna hit him.
So when I was in college,
and you were the bad motherfucker.
What was that sound?
I had no idea.
He's just mashing buttons over here. So when I was in college, I worked a couple different jobs on campus, and one of them was I was a night desk attendant. I went to SUNY Brockport, which is up in Rochester, which is Western New York, and I was a night desk attendant, which meant that you would sit in the lobby of your dorm. I lived in Briggs Hall, and
you weren't like a hallway monitor, right?
No, I mean it's kind of like that. Basically, what you do is you from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. you sit at the front, you sit at this desk, and you just check people's IDs as they come in. And if they, every building had a different colored sticker on the bottom of the ID. So if you live there, you just show the night desk attendant. All right, good night.
No one ever slipped like a 20. Like, hey,
no,
I gotta go over here to the first floor.
I need 10 minutes.
Yeah, I just 10 minutes.
But
and that's with eating.
Yeah, and cuddling. Boys cuddling. Yeah. No, but if you didn't live there, you would see their different colored sticker from their building. You just say, okay, you write their name down, and then that's it. So that this way, if something happens, someone gets killed, which unfortunately, after I graduated, a girl was brutally murdered by an ex-boyfriend.
Wow.
And they were able to track the guy down because of the this log.
This log.
Yeah. So it was terrible. But anyway, they do that so that when people, if
Does
something
everyone do that, or that's somewhere where like you volunteer to do? I know in the military, which we'll get on, there's a thing called CQ where you're on the list. But for me, my unit was big, so I was on it every other 2 months.
No, I mean, it's something it's not you put in for it, and, it's a job. I did it, I think 2 nights a week.
Just another thing on the resume.
It's just another thing I did, yeah. So it's honestly, it's a great way to get homework done, beyond. And a lot, and
you're right. Yeah.
Another way, other guys.
It forces you to to
sit there or whatever, I mean, I personally loved it because the RAs, they would lock up for the night and then go back up to their dorms like around midnight or whatever the case was. So from like midnight to 3, you're just chilling out. You know what I mean? It honestly was a good thing. It was a great way to get homework done or just chill out or just, whatever. And I did it for 2 years, but, no, you sign up for it. But what happened was, so I remember on this particular night, I think it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday, because you never wanted to be assigned to like Thursday through Saturday. Yeah, those are brutal.
That's crazy.
Brutal.
How are you gonna tell that guy no if he's like bringing in someone? Like, hey,
I mean, they could bring in.
Is there curfew?
No.
You're just making sure people that live there.
Yeah, that's it.
And they're allowed to guest if they want to.
If they don't live there, they could still come. Now, listen, this was as of 2010. I don't know what the rules are now. But what I was going to say is, if you didn't live in the building, you could come in. You just would have to sign in. Check in and check out. That's all. You could even bring alcohol into the building too. You would just have to assume. Yeah, you would just, because you got kids who are over 21. You would just have to sign it in. Whatever. So anyway, on this night, I remember it was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and it was after midnight. So I was in the lobby completely by myself. And as I said, this was Briggs Hall on the campus of SUNY Brockport. And the way that the lobby was set up was, in front of me, there was 2 doors. There was an exterior door that you would have to scan your card to come in. Then there was an interior door, same thing, you would have to scan your card to come in. And then there was, in front of me, about, I want to say 15 feet directly in front of me, there was 2 big windows, or 1 big window. On either side was like were walls. And then to the left of me was recessed into the wall was a women's room and then a men's room. And then there was, to the right of me, a big like lobby, where, it was like a common room area where it was just couches and stuff. Behind me to the right was 2 elevators. Down the hallway was a stairwell. And then my back was directly up against the exterior corner of the RA office. Right. So, and the bathrooms no one ever used, except for probably the RAs when they were working down there during the day. But, I remember, as I said, it was after midnight. I needed to get something from the office. So I stood up, I walked around the corner. Now, no one had come in for like at least over an hour.
Yeah. To your knowledge.
To my knowledge. So I stood
Was that the night she was killed?
Who?
All right, forget it.
So I got a alibi. So I stood up. I walked around the corner to where the door was. I went to go turn the knob. It was locked. I came back around to the desk to get the keys off the desk, and I was gone for maybe 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. When I came back around the corner to get the keys off the desk, all of a sudden I could hear this hush sound, like water running or wind or something like that.
And before he knew it, Epstein was dead, Your Honor.
So I walked over to the window. I was like, is that like the wind in the trees or something? What? And I looked and the trees weren't moving. So then I'm walking back to the desk. I'm like, what the hell is that sound? And I could hear it coming from the bathroom. I said, no way. That's the faucet. So I opened the men's room door. The lights were turned off, but I could hear that the water was running. So I actually turned the lights on. I go into the bathroom and the faucet was running. It was 2 knobs. The faucet was running. And it was so surreal. Like in this moment, I was trying to process.
Now, it happened to be already running, correct? Or you walked in and then it just started to come down?
No, the water was turned on. I stood up, walked away from the desk, came back like 4 seconds later, and the water was running. In that 4 seconds, someone turned the sink on in the bathroom. So I turned them off, and I start to go through everything that it could have been. Because having worked at a hardware store, my dad was a contractor. Like what's happened here? So I called my roommates and I told them, "I'm like, guys, you got to come down."
Yeah.
All right. So then I said, they came down and I told them what happened. They kind of laughed at me like, "I don't know, dude." So then they went back up, and then for the remainder of the night, the elevators kept coming down and going up and opening and closing with no one getting off.
Yeah, nope.
Not to your knowledge.
Right. So I kind of was like, I don't know what the hell that was. It was just a weird thing. And whatever. The same exact thing happened to another night desk attendant a couple of weeks later, a girl. Then we found out from the RD of the building, the resident director.
Okay.
Who, she actually lived, like, this was an old woman. She lived there since like the 70s or something like that. Like, this was her job. She was like the landlord of the building. The 1 year that she was placed in another building in the 90s, a male RA had hanged himself in the stairwell behind where I was sitting. So you start to make the correlations here. Male RA, stairwell right there on the first floor, and then men's room, men's bathroom. Now, why did this kid come back? And of all things, he turned the faucet on? Who knows? I don't know. But so that was the experience.
It's COVID. You're supposed to wash your hands.
Yeah, he knew something we didn't know. So that was the experience that took it from like a passing interest to like, okay, now I need to get resolution. And then shortly thereafter, I started going on actual investigations.
That's great.
That's dope. That is dope. So that's what started this whole thing. All right.
Yeah.
That works for me.
Jack, anything else? Because I want to get into the second segment with Vinny.
Yeah, let's get into the second segment then.
Sure?
Oh, yeah.
Ask one more question.
X one
All right,
more.
we'll do one
I like
more.
everything
All
in
right.
twos.
Everything in twos. All right. So with the frequency that you go to
Make it worth it good, you know?
to the place where you do the show. I forgot what it's called. I'm sorry. What was the building called?
Morris Jumel Mansion. That's one of them.
Morris Jumel Mansion. Do you think the ghosts are like, Jesus Christ, this guy again? Like, do you think you're haunting them, or are they?
Yeah,
haunting
you know
you?
what? To be honest, yeah. Sometimes it feels like that. You know, there certainly seems to be. There certainly, for me, sometimes I feel like we're exploiting them, whatever the case is. But to be perfectly honest, us doing this does a couple of things. One, it controls the narrative, because a lot of times, like when I first started there, when I was working there, people would come in and say, I heard Eliza Jumel murdered her husband, which isn't true. I heard Eliza Jumel was a prostitute, which isn't true. And when you start to actually tell the story, because here's the thing.
It's like the game phone. You say it one way. By the time it gets to the 30th person, they might hear it a different way.
And I use the game telephone on Investigate. I start with one person and I say, you see how these things can change and spread?
Yeah.
But what I was going to say,
it's almost like the news.
Yeah, exactly. It's not who's right, it's who's first kind of thing. But if I was to take a group of people and stand them in front of the building and not tell them any of the history, and I said, let's play some word association. Within the first 10 seconds, someone's going to say haunted or scary or evil, whatever the case is. So being that people, that's already in the psyche of society, we say, let's control the narrative and let's tell them the truth so that they walk away with a better understanding of what it is. And also, to be perfectly frank, the investigations are the most popular event at the museum and quite honestly bring in the most revenue. So we're quite literally helping keep the doors open by doing this, and we're not doing it in a way that's exploiting them. It's telling the story.
That's great. No, I really appreciate that you do that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you.
Well, let's bring on to our second thing.
Yes.
Because how long we're on this fucking... I love to see the timing we're doing over here. I don't even know how to work this thing. See? I got to get back to season 2 rituals over here.
He's like a bear going through.
I don't even think I hit fucking record on this fucking thing. Yeah.
Because I didn't even hit record.
Yeah, imagine. I got it on the garage band.
Lens cap's still on.
Yeah, the lens cap is still... Oh, we're about to hit an hour. That's good. Ah, shit.
Oh, man.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how many times that's happened. I think that's almost happened to me once.
Yeah, that can't be that. Unless you high end photographer, that's not really a thing anymore. I gotta imagine.
Yeah,
no.
But yeah. So first of all, thank you for all that, because we needed a touch base. We've been trying to touch base on that for a long time. We just couldn't fit it in season 1, and great to open it up with it. but now you are onto a new and temporary career.
We'll see.
Well, we'll see. But you're going into the Army Reserve.
Negative.
Oh no, you're going to the Air Force Reserve.
This
fucking guy. See how great I pay attention.
Oh my god, what a friend!
Which I think I personally think Air Force is definitely going to be a lot better. It's going to be I think more relaxed pace because you got to be brains. Brains is Air Force. Air Force are the brains and the sky of our military. I mean, we got the best. I sound like Trump. We got the best Air Force. Better than anything. We're better. We're better.
The biggest, the best.
No one in the world has a better military.
They know it. Okay.
I know it. They know it.
Excuse me.
You know it.
Excuse
the
me.
dead know it.
I'm talking. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I miss that guy.
Anyways, so what even made you want to fucking go? Like,
Well, I wanted to wait till I was good and old.
good and old, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So
You're going to be the oldest kid in boot camp. Right?
I mean, probably.
But you still look pretty much the youngest. Like, you looking good for your age, man. Is that because you don't drink, smoke, and
I do
have coffee?
Well, listen. So both my mom and my dad.
I hope you don't die of COVID, man.
Okay. My mom and dad, they always looked very young. So I think I was just very lucky.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I mean, I guess lifestyle. I drink a lot of water. I don't sleep as much as I should. But anyway, it's something I always wanted to do. And you know me, I'm a big proponent of if you got an itch, you got to scratch it. And even if I live to hate it, at least I know I'll go out knowing that I did what I wanted to do and never have the wonder as to what it would have been like.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of rough on you in the beginning. I was like, don't do it, man. I mean, you're here, you're doing this ghost stuff. Any day now, you should be fucking.
Yeah. Well, so just to talk it through a little bit, I mean, like I said, it was something I was always fascinated with. My brother was in the Army and my cousins and everything like that. It was something I always wanted to do. And, for one reason or another, whether it was college or just trying to do the acting thing or getting into the paranormal, just kind of didn't work out earlier in life. I'm not an old man. Obviously, I'm going to be going in much, much later than most people. But listen, the cutoff for the Air Force is 40. My recruiter said the oldest person he saw go in was 40. Yeah. He had a guy turn 40 at basic, so... it just, I'm at a point in my life where things are kind of working out. And, so to get to the nitty gritty of it, I explored every branch. I talked to every branch except the Coast Guard. Nothing against them.
What's the Coast Guard?
Exactly. But,
Bro.
Nah, they got some good water training.
Yeah.
They do.
It's like looking at the Olympic symbol, the ring. Like everyone knows blue, yellow, red, and it's like, wait, what's that other color? You know what I mean? It's kind of like I forgot what is it? Is it green, black, purple?
But so I looked at every branch, and throughout the years, my reasoning or my goal in the military has differed a little bit, but there was always a desire to do it. So where I'm at right now, obviously having some college background and everything like that, most people would advise to try to go the officer route. For me personally, if I was to have gone active, that probably would have been the way for me to go.
That's the route to go.
But being that I'm going in the reserves, I was more focused on finding a job in my part-time job, which is going to be the reserves. That's going to benefit me on the outside rather than trying to boss up on my pretend once a month kind of job. You know what I mean?
It's called Weekend Warrior.
Weekend Warrior. If I grow to love it, then, then I'll...
Well, once you're in, you're in.
Yeah, what I'm saying is if I get in and I'm like, oh my God, I love this, then years from now, whenever the opportunity presents itself, maybe I'll try to go the officer route, whatever the case is. Whatever the case. I got my dream job in the military. Yeah. I'm going in as fire protection. So what that means is I'm going to be a firefighter in the military, in the Air Force.
This is where you should be asking us the questions now.
Well, so I'm just telling you where I'm at, and that's it. So on the outside, if and when the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to try to apply to some kind of fire rescue EMS because that's my other background. job, and hopefully I can parlay my military experience into a full-time job.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're gonna meet before you leave. I got some stickers. I got to hand it to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to my drill sergeant.
Yeah, give it to your drill sergeant. Smack it right on his head.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume that there's gonna be a lot of camaraderie because firemen are just usually really all about being firemen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And now you're in the military version of being a fireman. I imagine there's a lot of brotherhood whatever. Family.
There's always brotherhood.
Personhood.
Yeah. I'm telling you, there's no brotherhood than there is in the military.
So listen, Jack, you're Navy, Vic, you're Army. So let me have it. Let's hear.
Well, what do you want to know?
Well, I looked up. I did a Google search on what to bring with you to Air Force basic training.
Okay.
And they're recommending the memory foam butt cushions for the.
I knew he was gonna say
it. No, but I actually did give him good. I did give him a good checklist to bring. I said definitely bring some envelopes, have some stamps ready to roll, paper, couple pens.
Yeah. Fucking
bring extra because there's always idiots that don't bring it, and then it's kind of like, see me, I don't have a problem with telling someone like, all right, you're getting one and that's it.
Yeah,
but. That's him, that or her. They're the chosen one.
Yeah.
After that, I'm like, sorry, dude, I ran out.
Well, I've noticed that because when I went to MEPS, I mean, obviously, it's a lot of young kids, and this is their first job, whatever. So it is like the military has a job to do. They got to get you into the shape, into the mold that they need to do their job. There's no secret about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're slowly taking that away. But continue.
Yes,
yeah.
But so. I've had some frustrations just with whether it be with the recruiter, whatever the case may be. Like, they're not used to dealing with probably an older person who's had like jobs and stuff like that, and responsibilities. So I get it, and I do think that there is going to be a learning curve for me as well. Getting used to that culture. Listen, this is what I signed up for. It's no secret. It's the military. You know what I mean?
Well, to be honest, listen, basics. I think me and Jack can both speak. It's gonna suck. Oh, yeah. It's gonna suck. Their whole thing is they gotta take away your civilian views. There's no I'm not doing this today. No, it's gone. Like, you are now pretty much an obedient fucking dog. You will bark and say yes sir or no sir or yes ma'am or no ma'am.
I think it's an excellent psychological experiment.
I think it is great. Like, you will come out a better man. Even like, you ever hear that saying, like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Yeah, trust me, the military can teach old dogs new tricks.
Old dogs, new dogs, weird dogs, broken dogs.
Exactly. Yeah. The only thing I think that's going to be a little frustrating is, like you said, you're going into an environment where most of the people are 17 if they have permission, and I think the average age is going to be between 19 and 22, 23. I mean, I kind of went
23
in.
23 is a little bit on the high end. There was one dude that was a little older than me, and I went in and I was like 23. So
you were 23. Yeah, I went in at 25, and I was considered old for some reason. But yeah, so that's the only thing is, like, kids, like, you listen, you're going to have to be up at like 04 in the morning.
Yeah.
You're going to see some of them still in bed. And you're going to have to almost be like, you're going to have to take that leader role. Yeah. Because if one fails, you all fail.
Yeah.
And if you see a kid that's fucking not waking up, pull him to the side. Be like, dude, you got fucking 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Don't fuck my life worse than it needs to be. So if you gotta, like, I don't know, fucking shake the bed or like fucking, I don't know, push the mattress a little, but make sure everyone's up. But you're gonna know what I mean, man. And the main thing is, do not quit. I told myself every day, and Jack, let me know how you got through boot camp. But when I went through boot camp, I told myself every day, I said, why am I here? Mm-hmm. I'm here because I need a better life. I had nothing going for me at that age. I didn't have money to go to college. I didn't even see college in my views. And that's what reminded me every day.
And college wasn't looking for you.
And college was not looking for me. Yeah. I never got one letter. Yeah, I haven't got one letter in my life.
It was a preemptive, don't call us.
Yeah. I actually went, like, I didn't tell anybody this, but I went to Queens Community College, right? I had my GED or online diploma. And I go to Queens Community College, and I hand the guy the paper after I pay my $70 application fee.
Of course.
And he brings me in there. He's checking. He's like, "Oh, what's John Adams Virtual High School?" He thought I went to John Adams High School. He never seen the virtual part, so he was getting everything ready. And then, like 45 minutes later, he goes, "Wait, this says Virtual High School." And he looked nothing. There was nothing on there. Yeah, so I actually went and got a real diploma, but at that time I was just so focused on getting into the military.
Yeah.
That
You went there and fuck.
yeah, so I just I don't know, man.
Did you write it in with crayon? Like, would you?
No, no, a $500 piece of paper, gone down the drain, shredded.
Well, that's the problem. Is that kids are so force fed this idea that if you don't go to college, you're a failure. You know, obviously that's bullshit.
No, you're not. You're definitely not a failure.
I mean, I'm a huge advocate for doing things not necessarily later in life, but when you're ready to do them in life. You know, you got to do certain things before you can do other things, and I guess that's where I'm at. But yeah.
And Jack, what were you good at? Like, how did you get through your basic?
I very similar to yours. I thought of, like you said, like where you are. Like, dude, I got on a plane to get here. I signed up. I waited 8 months. I ran every day for 8 months. You know, just getting ready, doing push-ups. Like I killed myself. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going through it, and I realized that it's mostly a psychological issue.
90%.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly you under withdrawals from who you used to be. Mm-hmm. Like you're just wanting to, you know, get your phone out and you can't. You want to lean back on something
so
and you
looking forward
can't.
to that.
No. But what I'm saying is that you might be because you're older now, but a lot of these kids, bro, you can't, like, you start seeing some of them scratching, like, oh my God, like I can't, they're fucking breaking out because they want to dip or cigarettes or they just want to drink. I can't tell you how many fucking alcoholics, like how many,
they're like, it's like a detox.
Year-olds.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I got that going for me.
Yeah.
No, but I don't think you have that going for you.
Yeah, but to be honest, when I went in, I was smoking packs a day. I literally had my last cigarette. Like when we had to empty out all our pockets, I had a pack. The guy goes, "You smoke?" He goes, "Well, yeah, go out there and smoke your last one." So I smoked my last one, but you are so fucking active. I didn't think about smoking for 22 weeks.
You learned.
I'm a dumbass.
Through without worrying too much about like smoking.
I'm that dumbass. Because I went 22 weeks without smoking, and when I went down for Virginia for the special assignment, I fucking bought a pack right there at the airport.
You had an out.
I had an out. I fucked it up.
So I mean, if you're going in with no vices and nothing that you know, and you're there to make yourself better, you shouldn't really have any problems. Yeah. But just understand that you're fed, you're told to work out. You're dressed. You're walked around like cattle. Walked around like how your day. You don't have to think because everything is thought about for you.
They'll think for you.
Yeah.
They'll think for you. Yeah. You don't need to, and that's what they make you. And then you come out and you're this perfectly malleable person that you know they can. Okay, now go to your specialized school, and then you go to your specialized school and you learn how to get through your job.
Yeah. What has your okay? What is have you guys ever encountered Air Force guys or what's the rep around?
I mean, I did encounter Air Force guys when I was overseas in Korea for 9 months.
And how do they like it? I mean, it's a little late for me to be asking these
I mean,
questions.
you got to understand, even though we're all in the military, there is brotherhood. So the Army is always going to represent their Army dudes, and the Marines, they're like the hardest fucking brotherhood. Like, you don't fuck with a Marine as if you don't fuck with an Army guy, and I'm sure the Navy's that way. Or
I feel like
that's where it starts dying out. Like the Marines and the Army are there, and then the Navy it just starts dying out. Yeah,
Navy and then Air Force and then. Coast Guard,
I mean, I've had encounters with other. If I had a bad encounter, it was with the Air Force in Korea, but they were just drunk and obnoxious. But we won't bring any of that up. But like I said, I mean,
but they make you one unit. You will be one unit. Yeah. You will learn to be one unit. That's the point.
The other enticing aspect of the Air Force specifically, and you know, a recruiter's got a job to do. They're going to tell you whatever they got to say to get you in. But you know, I'm big on training and I'm big on education, and that's a big reason why I did this is because ultimately, you know, I do want to go back to school. And,
you got to learn military. I mean, see, that's the thing. I can't speak for the Air Force because I know in the Army education, I mean, they take it as a big thing, but they're also, their knowledge and stuff is not really like, they're kind of like staple water to a tree type thing. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, figure it out.
Yeah, see, the Navy cares more.
Yeah, Navy and Air
The
Force, I'm
Navy-
going to assume, care a lot more.
The Navy, if you don't have school on your, I forgot what the hell they call it, but if you don't have it on your resume when you go in to see if you're going to go up to the next rank, if it's not on there, your chances are.
Well, he's going in as an
Put it that way.
E3, which is, I think,
Same
he
exact
probably
thing
should have
I
went
would.
in as an E4, but they'll probably give that to him. I don't think no one in basic goes in as an E4. That's the thing.
They said they say I should get it pretty quickly. Who
Yeah.
knows?
So,
You know.
well, your time starts as soon as you go there. So you have time and grade, but they can, if you're doing your shit good and all that, they will promote you. You probably have to wait a year, at least a year, minimum of a year.
You recommend he sneaks anything on with him?
Well, he doesn't do
survive through?
anything. He drinks water. They'll have plenty of that.
Get the yeah.
They're gonna try to get me to do stuff when I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say if you could sneak some earplugs somewhere, put it in.
No,
your
he doesn't even need to. I
pocket
mean, you can
or-
bring it, but
No.
they're going to take everything away.
Bro.
No.
They're gonna take everything away, but I'm saying
No, don't be that guy that has, because and then let me tell you what's going to happen. See, Jack, I think is trying to set you
I
up
live
for
in
failure.
Harlem, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All hours of the night.
Jack is going to set you up. Yeah, you're going to. How did you sleep? Like the dead. No, so Jack would set you up for failure, meaning if you do get caught with anything, any contraband, they will make sure everyone in there. I don't know how they did it, but we had a kid that snuck in cigarettes, and literally our whole entire interior was now exterior. We brought everything outside, including bunk beds. We undid bunk beds. We brought our lockers outside, everything, and they went through.
They worked out.
Yeah, we worked out. So you're gonna do a lot of dumb shit, but let me tell you something. It might not make sense, but it will.
Yeah,
it will. You're gonna be like, why the fuck do I keep fucking rolling on the ground? Like, why are they making us like? One time we had a kid. His name was Jordan, and I remember this like it was yesterday in basic training. We fucked with this kid a lot, but we'll get into that another
He's
time.
dead now.
No, he's not dead. He's probably dishonorably discharged. But anyway, the kid always slept. So we were going through our M4 training. Like this was like the brief
Rifle training. For
rifle training on
those
how to
listening.
hold it. What are the functions? What are the pieces?
Yeah.
And the drill sergeant, Sergeant Healy, he looks at Jordan and he goes, Jordan, I'm just going to let you know. If the sleep monster gets you, I'm fucking you all up. And he go, and it was simple, like the easiest directions. If you think you're going to sleep, just stand up in the back. He didn't do that. Falls to sleep. Healy looks at him, Drill Sergeant Healy. I'll give him some respect. And he goes, all right, everyone, get the fuck up. We're going to play the shut the fuck up game. So we played the shut the fuck up game. We stood at position of attention for about 40 minutes while they collected our rifles. And it happened to rain that day. So we did the Green Mile. And I'm pretty sure no one knows what the Green Mile is, but we low crawled for a mile in grass.
Nice.
And you would think it would end. Like it all took us, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes to low crawl a mile. And then we had to turn around and do it again. So that was my worst experience. But everything is for a reason, because now when you hear a gunshot or you hear something or you're getting attacked, you're going to fucking low crawl to wherever you got to go. You got to make sure the rounds are not fucking hitting you. Yeah. So everything has a purpose. It's just
even
fucked up.
Even
how,
at MEPS, they were getting on guys that couldn't bear crawl properly. You know, like, you're going to get shot in the fucking ass.
Yeah, you're going to get shot in the ass, head.
Yeah.
You got that at MEPS? They just had us running around with our asses hanging out.
He had to do the duck walk.
I had to do the duck walk, the underwear Olympics. I had to like flail my arms around everything.
The underwear Olympics, exactly.
I mean, even there, I saw it. It was some total dumbasses like, it's gonna be long.
That's gonna be out of 75% to 80% are gonna be kids that are just listen. The greatest thing in the military, it's either you're gonna be smarter or you're gonna be stronger. But you're never gonna be both. You're never gonna be both.
Yeah. So
it's one or the
other. I'm excited about it. You know, I think,
and I am excited for you, and I hope it does bring you.
I'm trying not to go in too gung ho and buy into all the propaganda.
No, don't.
But I'm being as realistic as I can be with my proximate.
Don't be first, but don't be last.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is a perfect opportunity. because we could do a before and after.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
I want your opinion on right now. If you feel that as
hold on, let me hit record because I didn't record this whole show.
As a as a civilian, right? A lot of people will think that, okay, well, I pay my taxes. That's my civil duty. You know, like I've done the minimum that I am required to do, right?
For the country.
Right.
Yeah.
Now after you go through boot camp, I want you to come out and tell me what the minimum should be.
Well, I already think that everyone, like Israel, everyone does 2 years in the military. I think it should be everyone does.
See,
does 2 years
I
in
want
public
that.
service.
I want that, but I don't, because I believe that if everyone here does 2 years in military, then we don't get the perks we get.
Yeah,
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So fuck
Then
it.
we're just everybody else.
Yeah, then we're just everyone else.
Well, you could elect to stay in.
Well, then
how long's a military contract? 4 years.
I think, it depends. I think if you go in as like a combat medic, you got to do 5 because your training, I think, is like a year long.
Yeah.
So
that was one of my first. I always wanted to be a 68.
Well, yeah, you definitely have
but
the history for that. But that's
But no. I listen. I'm a huge advocate for.
Korea does that.
Well, I think there's something to it.
There is.
I'm a huge advocate for public service and for respect and understanding.
Weed out a lot of stupid people.
Well, I think what it would do is I think it would shorten the gap between. I think it would really help in facilitating dialogue between, whether it be police in the communities that they work in or fire departments. Also it's going to really open a lot of kids' minds to, listen, if I don't go to college, it's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world.
You know
exactly.
what I mean? I'm a huge advocate for trade schools, for military, but
you learn more, I think, in a trade school than you would do in college. It depends what you're going in for.
Well, college is...
You want to be a lawyer, a doctor, you got to have to go to college.
But listen, college is based in theory. Right. Mm-hmm. College is about becoming a well-rounded individual, whereas a trade school is learning an actual tangible trade that you can actually implement. Like whatever. That's why I became an I have 2 bachelor's degrees. I became an EMT. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, but anyway, no, I'm a big advocate for that. So
EMT, ghost hunter, producer.
You guys got a resume that can clear a forest fire. We didn't even hit on that. We're gonna hit on that. But so I mean, you're shipping off in April, and
hopefully April. I'm still waiting.
Nah, you're shipping off in April. This kid doesn't know. Listen, if the military's got to do something, they got to do it.
Yeah.
Don't plan anything for the next 6 years.
That's all right.
And don't. You can get married, but just make sure you know that you're not gonna have off on your anniversary date.
That's all right.
Yeah.
But anything else? Sure. Anything else we should Jack? Anything else we should tell him?
No, I definitely want to do a follow up though when I come back.
Yeah, we'll definitely do a follow up. I mean, you got what, 8 weeks basic or 6?
7.
7.
Yeah, because of COVID.
Because of COVID.
And then 6, and then tech school.
But is that 7? They're telling you 7 weeks? Because I know you spend almost 3 to 4 days at a I forgot what it's called. It's like a little baby MEPS where you get your uniform, your dog tags, they do your blood work.
Yeah.
And then you go in. That's when they took away Shark Attack, by the way. Which, listen, I don't know what this cancel culture is doing.
Shark Attack?
When you get off the bus and they just fucking dog you and make you throw everything on. They're taking that away.
6 feet.
Well, no. Fuck the 6 feet.
They're doing away with it because
that's not even proven science.
There we go.
All right. We're not getting
all right, Grandpa.
All right, you understand? There was no Holocaust.
Yeah. But like I don't get it. Like, listen, you're signing up for the military. Let the military do what they do best. And let them train fucking motherfuckers preparing for war. Mm-hmm. You cannot... Listen, a snowflake is not going to land in a desert.
Wow.
I don't even think a snowflake is going to even fucking snow in the desert.
It gets very cold in the desert, though.
At night.
Yeah.
But it doesn't snow at night. You know what I'm trying to get? Like, don't reshape the military. This is why we're fucking who we are and why we get shit done. But I don't know where this fucking world is going to anyway. But yeah.
Bring earplugs, bro. Bring earplugs.
I was gonna bring just one butt plug Should I not do?
Yeah. What else you got?
That won't stop them.
Yeah. Don't drop the soap.
Yeah.
Don't be the last guy to shower. That's just weird. Get in there, man. Get in the circle of fucking love. That's how you build
I would love to see how the fuck they do it with the pandemic going around. Like, do they?
I guarantee you, there's nothing. I mean, you can't have proof. What are you gonna? It's hearsay. You're not allowed cameras in there. You're not allowed anything, dude. You got to get in. Listen, if you're going to war, you're worried about COVID, dude. Get away from me. We got to shoot at the enemy, bro. Back up.
The world is in clutches of fear of fucking COVID.
99.9% chance of surviving.
Did you guys get to bathe a lot?
Get your.
We bathe. All right. So okay, let me tell you what your fucking. Well, let me tell you what my routine was in the military. You got to wake up at 05:15. You got to be outside at 05:30 for accountability. Then you're going to salute the flag at 06, and then you're going to start your PT training right after that. Now, your PT is going to be very slow at first because they have to teach you the right movements and the right way on how to stretch your body. Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird because after that, there's no more stretching. When you get to your unit, it's just fucking run. Yeah. And then, so that's pretty much it. You got to head back. You got to have like, in the real world, you would have like 45 minutes to conduct hygiene if you want to get breakfast. In the military, you'll probably have 5 minutes to take a shower and get dressed. Yeah. Then you got to fucking march or run down to the fucking chow hall, eat, head back. And I'm telling you, your days, it's everything you do after that, you're going to learn something. Either you're learning how to shoot, you're learning how to fucking work as a team. You're gonna be propelling down 100-foot buildings. You're gonna be doing some scary tactics. I mean, this is basic training. This is the training that should be basic all across the military. This is in case shit hits the fan. We got to send you in. Everyone needs to have at least a basic knowledge on how to fucking fight in war. So that's where it's getting at. You're gonna have a better time when you get to A school, but it will progressively get a little less.
Don't get hurt.
Yeah, and don't get hurt. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I got hurt doing a stunt. Me and this guy, Miles, one of my friends in basic training, we used to at night fuck with a lot of people. So one time we took shaving cream and Sills, my boy from Texas, he was sleeping, and Miles takes it and just fucking whacks him in the face. And you know me, Jack, when I laugh, I start laughing. But he got up because this was like the 19th time we did it. He got up and he started chasing us. So I'm running into my room and I slip and my leg hits the corner of the door. Ooh. Now, I don't know if I seen a bone or not, but I'm just letting you know that I fucking flipped whatever skin that was on it, taped it, and because I did my basic in winter. So we always wore pants. You would never have seen it. But I had some alcohol. I think it was just a bad cut. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't serious. I'm fine. I'm living today. So like I'm saying, listen, if you really get hurt, you get hurt, but make sure you stretch your Achilles, and just fucking do what you're told, be on time, and in the right uniform. Those are your 3 rules. You
said that, yeah. No, I asked about the bathing because my brother said he remembers from his base. He was in the Army.
Yeah, it was 50, 60 guys.
Yeah, he remembers. He goes, you're going to stink for like weeks. Yeah. Whatever. But it's what, listen.
It's going to become a new scent. It's lavender.
I showered. I took my time in there. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did it go fast? Do you feel like it went fast?
Not the first 4 weeks.
Really?
And I'm going to tell you now, make sure you send your letters and make sure you put the correct address, which they will. Yeah. The letters help. They do help because, like I said, when I went in, I had no contact whatsoever. I had like a step grandma pass away. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
My godmother passed away while I was in.
There was family issues. I had no aware, but that's what they do. They have to do that because if you're able to communicate with family, you're gonna fucking psych yourself out. You're gonna, like, we had a kid, he didn't even get to basic. The kid was fucking, like we were there getting our uniform dog tags, and then like the day before we were supposed to get on the bus to go to basic, there was one kid who slit his wrist. I believe. Yeah,
there's always one.
There's always one.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, don't worry. That's going to be a normal thing. And then the other kid tried to escape, like he went AWOL for about 30 minutes, and his father was like a colonel. So he calls his father, and he was at a Hardee's, which is like I don't know, like a Burger King or something.
Jr.
Yeah. So he goes to Hardee's and calls his dad, and his dad goes, "Oh yeah, all right, son, I'll be right there." And his dad, being a colonel, no, he sent MPs. The kid got arrested.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't fucking escape when he's stupid.
Damn.
So they brought him back. Yeah, he flipped. Well, no, what are you gonna do, man? You're a fucking colonel in the military. That's the worst thing to do is abandon your fucking ship.
Shit.
So
he probably
first. I don't give a fuck.
Imagine that.
No, fuck
Thanksgiving
that.
dinner.
Yeah.
Remember that time you went AWOL?
Yeah. I picked you up, didn't I?
Fucking hobbies.
Not literally. But yeah, so this kid came back and he didn't proceed with us. So he was like, I don't know what they called him, like the holdover, yeah. But every day in basic training, when we passed him, we would have to call him a coward.
Nice.
So 147 of us, well, I think it was more. It was like 240. I think we only graduated like 150 or something like that. So every time we would pass him, I remember one of the drill sergeants, I don't remember his name, wink, he would be like, hey, every time you see this fucking guy, call him a fucking coward. So that was, hey, you do what you're told, right?
Experiences.
Yeah. And he would like come talk to us and we're like, like, dude, you can't, you gotta back up. Yeah, we're in the army now, right? Yeah. But anyway,
back home and was definitely like, yeah, I'm a better.
Yeah, exactly. And those are the idiots that you see walking around in the middle of the street with their uniform still on. Trust me, because if you're actually in the military, you're not wearing your uniform outside unless you're active duty and you get something, or it's like Veterans or Memorial Day and you're doing a march. Yeah. But if it's like fucking Easter Sunday and some guy's walking around in a military uniform, either he's active duty visiting or he's a fucking whack job.
I saw a guy in a Marine uniform I was a medic at a Yankee game, and he was standing outside, like waiting to meet the players. I'm like, what are you doing, guy? Like,
well, he might have
just come from somewhere to a Yankee game dressed like that.
Well, was he at the game? Because sometimes they do send they let units they give tickets to units to send their soldiers.
I only saw him, but whatever. Listen, God bless. Whatever. It's none of my business.
The other ones were probably lost. Yeah. But yeah, that was good. Anything left, Jack? Anything else you want to let him know before he goes on his journey?
I'm gonna try to send you guys a letter from Basic.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it live.
Yeah.
Please do.
And then we're gonna send one back. Send help. Send help. Blink twice.
Oh man, that's funny. No, man, I'm good. I wish you the best though. I do. In your endeavors, you got this. I don't even have to fucking.
Yeah, no, he's definitely mentally prepared. That's the best thing about being older, going into basic training is you. There's no bullshit. Mm-hmm. You're already there mentally, and they're gonna know that. They might fuck you up in the beginning just to be like, "Hey, kid, I'm the boss." But what? Because I know you gotta follow direction. You gotta do your thing. They're gonna leave you alone. Trust me. I got fucked with maybe the first 2 weeks. Then I guess my age got out there, and I never got really fucked with. But I was always doing what I was told.
So that's an interesting point. What do they do with older guys? Like, what was the oldest? So Jack, the oldest guy at your basic was how old?
Like 24, 25, about like a year or two older than me.
Jesus. Yeah. And then how old was your oldest guy?
I think the oldest for us was like maybe 34, 35, 36.
And 35 is old in in any military, but cutoff in the army is like 35, I think.
I think it's 35, 36.
But what are you worried about? I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be like you're back in high school.
I'm not worried about it.
You're going to fit in, trust me. What shirt are you wearing today?
Killing time.
Killing time.
What I was going to say is, what do they do with older guys? Like, do they have like an unspoken, like, no, let's not fuck with this guy or whatever?
No, I don't know. I mean, they didn't fuck with me because I never gave them a reason to.
Yeah, that's true.
The only thing they would fuck with me is
fuck with the guys who are making themselves.
I would always laugh.
Yeah.
Like when I seen someone getting chewed out, or it's like Jordan would always be the one chewing out. And I remember one of the drill sergeants coming to my ear because Jordan had fucked up and he was gonna like bring him up front and chew his ass out. And he like we're standing at attention, and I have no idea he's by my ear. And then all of a sudden I hear like this whisper. He's like, I'm not gonna say my last name, but he's like, Private Vic, if you so fucking laugh, I will fuck you up. And right there, I was already like, so I held it in pretty quick. But I mean, they went on town on this dude and a couple other people. I forgot what they did. I think they forgot, like, they didn't secure their rifle or something. And I laughed, so I had to drop. And by drop, you do push-ups. And it's crazy. I don't know if in the military they might. You never did the impossible 1 push-up, right?
What? No hand? I do no-handed push-ups.
Yeah, well, no. This is called the impossible push-up. I'm not going to ruin the surprise. I don't know if they're going to do it, but it's pretty much impossible, and it's only 1 push-up. So you figure it out when you get there.
All right. I mean, I could bang.
I did it to Jack's brother, I think, once, and he couldn't do it.
Oh, okay. I have you ever seen?
I'll tell you what it is.
Have you ever seen the ultimate setup? We did this at wrestling.
No, I don't know what
we
the ultimate setup is.
I'll show you later.
But all right, the impossible push-up is basically you're in the push-up position for like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. You're in a plank.
Fuck that.
Yeah, and then he'll tell you halfway down.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now you go all the way down. And all the way down, your chest is not hitting. And then he'll tell you halfway up. But, dude, by the time you try to think about going halfway up, it's impossible because all your muscles are just shot.
What's the typical number if someone's getting smoked of push-ups that they're going to make you do?
Well, everything's in cadence. You're going to learn that. So 2 equals 1.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so it's 1, 2, 3, 1. So you just did 2 push-ups, but in military mind, that's 1, which is good.
Yeah.
Because it's actually like, oh, I did 10 push-ups. No, idiot, you did 20.
Yeah, did 20, yeah.
Yeah, so
50 to 100 push-ups, and they're really just looking for the first couple to fall out.
Yeah.
So
in a one shot, you're doing 100 push-ups.
In total, they might have you doing, those.
Well, you do 50 in cadence.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. That's gonna come more or less. I mean, they'll have like contests and stuff. But listen,
see, it'll get fun. You're gonna get strong. You're gonna
like I said, don't be first and don't be last.
Jacked.
Don't be that guy that's first. Don't be last.
Should I mention the ghost hunting? No, I'm just kidding. Don't bring.
Well, that's why I think that it's good that you're making this move. That's one of the reasons why, because you get a network, you get to meet people from all walks.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I've never been in a room with people from different states and different views, and it's great. You gotta.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to be a likable guy. I know that.
We'll see.
We'll see. But that's it. Jack, what do you got?
Ladies and gentlemen, nothing. That's it.
No? All right. Well, Vin, I wish you luck. And
thank you guys for your input.
This is episode 1. We're kicking off season 2, right? Bada bing. Yeah. UnFollowVic. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the UnFollowVic podcast. To show your love and support, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at UnFollowVic. Cheers.